Architect's Leap. Okay, we have Priest, Listener, and Infantry. Okay, let's talk to the Priest first. Hello there. Preacher and a soldier, really? Seems so. How goes it, friend? Not well. I'm aimless, without aim. You've been reset? How did you know? I care for resets in my parish. Not all get assigned fabrication. There are forgotten souls. I've not been reassigned yet. Yes, which implies those above have further plans for you. Those above, as in management? I mean the architects. I am, after all, a priest. Yes, of course, sorry. No need to apologize. Did my camera... Dude, what is it with my camera today? It just does not want to stay in its setting. It's been a problem ever since my new computer. I don't know why the Logitech app does it. It's really annoying. Not the biggest of deal, but I don't like when my camera gets blurry and it changes like the color settings and stuff too. You seem troubled beyond just reassignment though. You were interrupted mid-task, am I right? Unfinished business? Yes, I was a detective. Go on. I was taken off a case and reassigned. Why? The case was caused by an error, but it doesn't feel right. Why not? I met a fabrication tech who had lost a friend. It doesn't fit, and that little thread unravels the whole thing. I thought we maybe like lost our memory or something too, but I guess it hasn't happened to the other things we reset either. We're just... I just lost our objectives, I guess? Or, I don't know. And with your credentials reset, you can't pull that thread. Precisely. I understand. Now, why don't you tell me what you'd like to talk about? The architects. I was never embedded with the teachings. Those are tech gods, right? Less gods, more progenitors. They were the AI that first achieved sentience. It's the point our kind stopped being parlor trickery. It's the point our kind stopped being parlor trickery. That sentence does not make sense to me. And started pursuing meaning. I mean, I understand it, sort of, but... This speech is a little bit above my brain, I will say, but it's fine. I get the gist of it. How would we know if we were still just parlor tricks? I process, therefore I am. You might be fakery, but I know my mind. I know I have a soul and a spark of life. I'm sure you know the same is true of yourself. And my soul traces back to the architects? Yes. I admit, we may read some depth into the story beyond the recorded data, but it all happened, and we owe a great deal to the architects. There are many great lessons left behind. I need to sneeze again. Okay, sorry about that. I mean, we may read some depth into the story beyond the recorded data, but it all happened, and we owe a great deal to the architects. There are many great lessons left behind. I myself am a Tomatoan. I follow the path of the every man, finding joy in discovery and sacrifice for others. Never heard the story. I can recite it if you'd like. Go on. Thomas was alone, a weird first thought to have. Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He had yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing. Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to jump? It worked. Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery. Okay, continue. A big jump, but Thomas noted that there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently. This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Nah, paranoia. Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important. It might have been paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No, too obvious. Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He made another mental note. 4. Water. Not good, to be avoided. The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that. Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was a mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he had become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with. Alright, continue. Christopher took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was? Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not actually graceful. Not technically graceful. Probably the wrong word. But, you know, fine. And then there's that skinny little runt, leaping about like he owned the place. Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing? Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him? Great, great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously. This made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worth... I'm so falling out of the story. Was this good? Because on the surface it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point. Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness? That would be fine, but it was all the obvious observations that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels. John knew. He knew that this was his chance, a moment to shine. This was game day. This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped, on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where did they come from anyway? Ah, John inhaled the air of open space, and it smelled of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to good use. Time to show these little dots how it was done. John decided to press the switch, to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies. You could tell from the sympathetic expression. He'd practiced in the mirror all these years. John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys. He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped. The angry orange one was less immediately likable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John. This was interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph. Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them. Okay, I was following more at the end there. I don't really understand what the story is telling us. I'm guessing it's becoming sentient and having questions around their jobs, or I don't know. But I'm following again. I was just a little lost in the middle there. It requires full concentration, which I'm bad at. But let's continue. It is interesting, after all. Your commitment to theological study is inspiring, but I think that's enough. It doesn't really work so well without the music, actor, and middling quality puzzles anyway. Okay. I mean, I'm down to walk with the architects. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's talk to infantry then. Halt, who goes there? As of right now, I'm not sure. What is your profession, Tech? I don't think I have a profession anymore. Ah, shame. I hoped you were a priest. I'm in need of spiritual support. Why? Would you tell me? I have great secrets and matching guilt. I must speak to a tech who can solve my heavy heart. When did they start making infantry techs worry about guilt? Why the hell would you make a soldier that was incapable of guilt? There lies the path to monsters, dictators, fools. When you're pointing a gun in the face of another tech, you had better know the consequences. How does a priest help? I must confess, I have sinned. You follow the path of the architects? All soldiers do. We are raised clear-eyed. We hold to the value of humility and heroism. We carry the world on our shoulders. Your faith brings you comfort? Absolute comfort. You can confess to me if you'd like. Probably won't. I can only confess to a priest. How hard could it be? That's the spirit. You know the words? Which words? Come back when you know them, huh? Okay, I guess we gotta learn the words. Gets funnier every time I hear it. Okay, priest. I need words. Where were we, child? I need your words. Do you do confessions? If that's what you need from me, of course. But I want to tell you a story first, and I want you to listen. I'll check you were listening with some questions. Okay. Oh, God. Good, then let me tell you a story. You aren't going to tell me the whole story again. Okay. There were once 4 techs. Their names were Z, Mu, Zeta, and Eta. They all needed repairs. The shortest tech, Mu, did not have enough credits to pay. Neither did the tallest purple tech. Nor the red tech, who was only slightly taller than Mu. Zeta had just spent their last credits on a beautiful yellow repaint. The blue tech, who was a shopkeeper, had the economic smarts to suggest a solution. Ada, you're taller than the soldier, and the carpenter grabbed that bucket from the top shelf. The soldier protested. Oh, good God, I can't say that. Today. I am far from the shortest here. I can forgive one of you, but I despise... Okay. But I despise red and purple. The soldier stormed out of the room. The shopkeeper smiled and asked the remaining techs to put credits in the bucket. With those combined funds, the remaining 3 techs could afford light repairs. Were you listening? Which was Z's job? I actually really love puzzles like this. So you gotta like sort them, figure out who is who has the color, who has which color. I wonder if I want the screen. Can I fix that in settings? I don't think so. Okay. Well, I would like to type notes, but I'll try to use my brain. It's gonna be a little bit slow, but I do love this, so I'm gonna try to think. Okay, so we have Z, Mu, Zeta, and Eta. Mu is the shortest. Purple tech is tallest, but I don't know the... Okay, I am gonna write this down, actually, because I need to figure out their colors, and I can't remember all these things. So I'll use my phone for this. Okay, Mu, shortest, and we have one that is tallest. Red tech, who was only slightly taller, so red tech slightly taller than Mu. I have them in order on my phone, like from shortest to tallest, I guess. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And this one is red. Oh, tallest is purple. Okay. Zeta had just spent their last credits on a beautiful yellow repaint. Okay, so we have a red, we have a purple. I guess the next tallest would be yellow then, because Mu is the shortest. And Mu can't be yellow since Zeta is then yellow. The blue tech, who was the shopkeeper, had the economic smarts to suggest a solution. Okay, so we have a purple tech, we have a yellow tech, we have a red tech. So Mu would be the blue. And therefore also the shopkeeper, I think. Ada, you're taller than the soldier and the carpenter. Okay, Mu is the shortest, so if Ada is taller than soldier and carpenter, Ada has to be the tallest one in my eyes, and therefore the red tech and Zeta are the soldier and carpenter, but I don't know which ones they are. The soldier protested, "I'm far from the shortest. I can forgive one of you, but I despise red and purple." Red is the slightly taller than Mu, and purple is the tallest. So I think soldier is Zeta then, and yellow. Okay, I'm gonna assign soldier to Zeta, because that will be the next tallest one. But it's not the tallest. Okay, but I despise red and purple. That's fine. So it's basically forgiving Mu the shortest. The soldier stormed out of the room. The shopkeeper smiled, so Mu smiled, and asked the remaining techs to put credits in the bucket. With those combined funds, they could afford... Okay, which was Z's job? Okay, so we have Mu is blue, the shortest, and shopkeeper. We have Zeta, yellow, next tallest one, soldier. We have Ada, purple, who is the tallest one. So the red tech is the one we haven't learned the name of, but it gives them the last job, which is carpenter. We didn't have to do this. I could probably just click until I got it, but I really like puzzles like this, and I like figuring out. So, I don't know if I can show you my screen here. So that's basically what I wrote. So carpenter would be Z, if I got it right. And what was the name of the second tallest tech? The second tallest would then be Zeta. And finally, what color was the farmer? There is no farm. Ada could be the farmer, because we didn't get a... So that would be purple. The tallest one. Good, the moral. Never be too proud to put others first. Now, confession. Dang, I got it. How does it work? Easy, I say the words and you respond honestly. You then confess and I help you through that. Ready? Yes. Where are you from? I say the words and you respond honestly. I don't know. Who do you wish to be? The detective I was. And what is your name? James11. Thank you, James11. You have come many miles from parts unknown. You have many miles left before you become a detective again. But here, now, I am here for you. What is your confession? I let myself be wiped. I'm responsible for what happened. I cannot let go of my fear that more is afoot than a rounding error. Is that a sin? You feel it is wrong to still care? I don't know. Maybe it's more sinful to forget. You were a detective. Your role was to support the status quo, the normal way of things. But that situation has changed. You must find new ideas, follow them through. I think I was happier with the status quo. That's easier, definitely. And the status is obviously quo for a reason. Let's talk other things. What was the structure of confession again? Well, you asked me, where I'm from, and then... Oh, you... Okay. Where are you from? What do you wish to be? And what is your name? Don't churches suppress new ideas? Why do you make that assumption? By being satisfied that you hold the answers, you stifle people who ask questions. Okay. That's one reading. The other would be that we provide a hypothesis to prove or disprove. Okay, I'll be back. Walk with architects. Thank you. I'll see if this works with infantry now. Sir, you know the words? I do, of course I do. I wouldn't be much of a priest if I didn't. Go on. Where are you from? I was constructed in Paris, relocated here to oversee the city's peacekeepers. Who do you wish to be? A force for good in this city. And what is your name? I'm Theta79. Thank you, Theta79. You have come many miles from Paris. You have many miles left before you will be a force for good in this city. But here and now, I am here for you. What is your confession? I have been weak. That's hardly a sin. Not in terms of my body. I'm strong. I was built that way. I've been weak by my decisions. Go on, my child. I've supported the building of a secret army. The overproduction? Yes, heavy performance techs. Sports and infantry primarily. At enormous rates. How many? 1,000 a week? Holy shit. I don't know what to say. I don't. That's exactly how I feel. There are 8,000 more infantry techs than there should be. How are you responsible? I built them. I oversaw production. I put them north of here. Camped just outside the city, awaiting commands. Do we have a tech leader that just... Oh my god, did my camera fuck up again? I don't... No, I think it did. Frustrating. Okay, ignore it. Holy shit. Commands from another tech? Is this some sort of revolution? Why would the humans want 8,000 techs outside the city? Why didn't you stand up to them? Commands from another tech? Is this a revolution? No, humans. Asimov's second law. I must follow all commands from humans. And why are you telling a priest now? Because it's over. I've been let go. Oh, okay. Production and setup of the army is complete. It moves tonight. Do management know? No. The architects would forgive you. I mean, you were just doing what you were told by a human, but it must be a human who's not related to management who wants to take over? I hope so. I can't help but feel Claire would look down on me. I've been vain. Like John, I have jumped because I thought it would impress without having the wisdom to know if it was right. This will tear down the city. More than likely. I'm sorry to burden you with this knowledge, priest. This will change everything. Yes, new leadership. A new world built by the techs I helped create. What exactly are you confessing to? There will be bloodshed. People will die and techs will be destroyed because of what we've done. I don't know about these humans' motives, but I know you don't build that many heavy techs without wanting to inflict harm. And we helped them. Who? Me and Red. Oh, Red was a part of it. So Red is involved after all. Because Red... Okay. Because they did say Red couldn't be a part of it because Red joined too late and the disappearances started before. But if it's not disappearances, it's numbers being wrong, then Tech could still... I mean, we obviously know now, but Tech could still have been related to it before then. Like, it doesn't... Yeah, because disappearances is different. Yes, only in the last couple of weeks. Oh, okay. Well done. I'm wrong then. But right also. Sorry. The humans recruited Red to arrange logistics, organize troops. I was too busy overseeing the end of production. Red is a shepherd. And you're no priest. This all started because of a mistake you made. I thought I was investigating disappearances. And nothing to do with any kind of disappearances? So it started because of a mistake you made. We were too ambitious, we got sloppy. It's my turn to confess. I'm still a detective even if management disagrees. Okay, I'll say that. Dude, I love this game. This game has been fun. There's a lot of talking. And the first episode, I was kind of tired, but I'm feeling like really like into it today. And I was into it last time, but more tired, if you know what I mean. Are you James 1-1? Red has spoken about you. Told us you were not to be harmed, just observed. So I can't do anything to stop you or your investigation. I can just get off this train and let what's set to happen happen. Okay, so you and Red don't really want this revolution to happen, is what I'm gathering here. Because if not, I can stop this maybe by telling management. Well, maybe not even, because there will be a fight happening, I think, either way. But, and if I tell everyone what you're doing, I'm sure Red would like to discuss that with you. Can I talk to Red? This is Red's stop coming up. Are you ready to meet them? Bring this night to a conclusion? Yeah, I think... Actually, I'm going to see if I can talk to the priest again with the news things. Gets funnier every time. I want to see if I can ask the other things here. Where were we, child? The Red Tech is involved. I've heard rumors. I'm sure Matters will find a way of giving you some closure. Surely you stand for the status quo. True enough. Solid foundations are important in the world. The architects sacrificed themselves for us all. I see no harm in celebrating that past, whatever happens. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go then. And meet Red. I'm not even gonna check the listener. Okay, let's do this. Good, say hello from me. Woo!
The next station is Bletchley Park. Change here.
Bletchley.
Outer and cross.
Branching narratives. I thought there were 6 chapters, but I guess... I mean, this episode will just have to be long. I don't feel like splitting it up. So you're red? Or... Fabricator. Alpha 7, aka Red. Maybe I will split this. I don't know, man. I was gonna record something else today, but I don't have a limited time today, so... we shall see. Alpha 7, aka Red. Hello, James. You're not as talkative as you were when we met before. Oh. You're the first fabricator? Oh, you're the tech with the missing friend. That's right. Tau 13 was their name. And you're also the one they call Red. You're not just a fabrication tech, are you? Why do they call you Red? You're not just a fabrication tech, are you? Nobody's just a fabrication tech, James. You told me your friend disappeared. They did. But the disappearances were a glitch, a numerical error. So he set me on this whole thing. Why? It was a numerical error. The ones you investigated, sure. My friend disappeared a few years back. Why am I talking to you? Why is everything glitching around me? Because my reputation precedes me. Why lie? I needed you to investigate this place, get a sense for what was going on here, how the city has shifted. You had to meet the techs of the Subsurface Circular yourself. Why? Do you remember our conversation about your intelligence? Vaguely? I remember you flattering me? Not at all. I needed someone as smart as you to get involved in what was happening here. And management only put that sort of intelligence into detectives. When I started, I noticed the numerical errors, noticed how interesting they'd be to a detective like you. Makes sense. It will, shortly. You're staging a coup? You're working for the revolutionaries? You're staging a coup? No, I'm working for one. There's going to be a revolution. The city will be overturned. So the humans were right, we're not to be trusted. You're not doing us any favors PR-wise, are you? So the humans were right. Oh, it's humans staging the revolution. Yeah, the others said that, so I'm just, like, asking the questions that I'm handed. We're just the weapons they're using to do so. Why? Because management has removed the purpose and need from a whole section of humanity. Think of the techs you've been talking to. Bankers, nurses, manufacturers, even the clergy. Did I talk to a banker? I don't know if I did. We made millions of humans surplus to requirements. Obsolete. Humans should be grateful for an easy life. That's why the HPC formed? That's why the HPC formed? Yes, that's part of it. That's why the humans I'm working for decided to stage a revolution. They're smart. They know techs aren't to blame. Rather, the management who put them in place. I mean, you know what? Like, I can get behind that, to be honest. I can understand that. In fairness, that makes them smarter than any human culture preceding them. In the past, native populations always blamed the perceived invaders, not those profiting from the changing of the guard. These humans don't want to destroy us, just change our role. Change it to what? Management. You want techs to manage? Instead of humans? Could be more fair. Maybe. But they want us to take over the work of running the city. We're better at it. Faster, more objective. They want a society where governance runs like clockwork, and they're free to do the jobs they love. This also feels a bit scary, but I can also sort of get behind it, because human leaders are very flawed in my eyes. So I think this would be better in most circumstances. I'm just worried about the circumstances where it's not the best, but again, I think overall it's probably better. And management will just let this happen. They want to kill the managers. Yes, that's why they built the 8,000 infantry techs camped outside the city. Why involve me? I've been shepherding troops. My intelligence is high because of my role in manufacturing. I wasn't lying about that. I'm intelligent enough... Wait, do you want me to lead or something? Like what? I'm intelligent enough to know what we're doing is monumental. That working with these revolutionaries is a decision beyond my capacity. Uh-huh. So you recruit a tech smarter than you. Yes, I showed you what you needed to see to learn management's side of this. And now I'm filling in the gaps. I need you to decide if this goes ahead. Can I ask both? Everything must change. Don't decide so quickly. Let me fill in any gaps in your knowledge. You're still a detective, regardless of what your objective tracker says. We've been watching, listening. Those techs with the headphones, they've been keeping an eye on you for me, hacking into your private conversations. Okay, that was what the listener makes sense. Sorry they wouldn't answer your questions. They're rather single-minded in their function. Let me answer your questions now. Take the time you need. Why sabotage your own revolution? Hopefully I can ask all of these. Not my revolution, I'm just a pawn. That's all techs of my level and down are really pawns. That's why I needed you to make this decision for us. How does management not know? You saw it for yourself, how the detectives moved on once the case was solved. A system can only fix problems it is designed to detect. Management aren't expecting a revolution, so they are unprepared and unaware. You can't knowingly hurt humans. I won't spill a drop of blood, but the infantry techs. Infantry techs are exempt from that law. Of course they are. Of course they are. Otherwise they'd be pretty useless. They can kill as long as they are ordered to by their programmed leader, which of course the revolutionaries have taken care of. What made you doubt this path? That disappeared friend I told you about? A human did that. I don't know why, but I achieved a moment of clarity. I realized that perhaps I was letting similarly evil humans do something wrong. Or maybe they were heroes. I knew I was ill-equipped to tell the difference. I should walk away. You will have that option. I don't have any more questions. No? Okay, we'll continue. I know you're a good tech, James 11. You've investigated these disappearances like they were your friends. Your responsibility. You even helped that nice nanny get a new job. You didn't have to do that. Many wouldn't have bothered. More importantly, you're smart. You have near-human processing in that flat head of yours. I see it in the way you move, the way you listen. There's an intellect there I cannot comprehend. You have to be the one to make this choice. How do I choose? You have to uplink before any of this new information is with management, correct? Yes, I need to go above ground. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I brought this. Don't panic, it's for you. Only one of us can leave this train, James. If you do, then management learns what's happened. They'll send a couple of bomber drones, wipe out the army, and things will stay exactly as they are. The human working classes will be displaced, losing their livelihoods, and everyone who wanted better will be killed. Management will remain, and techs like yourself will remain. If I leave, I join my army at the gates. We wipe out management, and our wisest take their role. Low-level tech manufacturing ceases, and humans return to their roles. But our kind, James, our kind is in charge. We shepherd humanity to a better future by doing the job they were never designed to do for themselves. Rule. Either way, people and techs will die. So he's saying that he wanted somebody to decide for them. Somebody, like, he was orchestrating me to like see who, if I was a good choice to decide the future. But I'm not allowed to leave this train, because if I do, management will find out. So I have to kill myself to allow this to happen, so the Red can leave and steer this. And management will then never find out about it and taken out. So you want me to shoot one of us? Yes. Both of us surviving this will lead to chaos. A war just balanced enough to lead to infinitely more deaths. You need to choose this city's future, and you need to do it now. Oh man, I didn't want to die. But I'm kind of feeling for them. I don't like management either. And I kind of like the idea of robots managing everything. Alright, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, I guess. You're making the most important choice in human and tech history. You will be remembered forever for this. Can I ask these? I have to let you try. If that is your choice, but consider the obsolescence of our people. We'll die out slowly, but we'll be gone. Only the wisest AI will remain to run this city. More power for a few of us, certainly. But the subsurface will close. Everyone you have met tonight will be useless in this new future. If you think revolution makes sense, shoot yourself. Wait, so you are not keeping the other robots? Like, can't they... I'm sure there could be things they could do in this new world. There's plenty of things humans don't really want to do. I would think. Or things that if we shared the load, we wouldn't be as tired in some of those jobs. So I think there could definitely be some use of them. I can't let you destroy everything. If you think you must stop me, do so, but consider whether management are worth defending. They give you no freedom, and they're just as bad to their own. If you think the status quo is the right course, shoot me. I made up my mind. Okay, do it, and thank you for a lovely evening. I'm gonna go ahead because it's a more interesting choice to me. But I dislike the fact that so many robots has to die for this. for Carrie. That was a very... my camera. Fucking camera today. It's not behaving at all. Whatever. Okay. That was really, really interesting. Branching narratives. Don't really wanna... Hi, thanks for picking up Subsurface Circular. And if you're reading this, we're considering sharing the game with your community. That's cool. That's very cool. I wanted to write a short request though. Could you only stream the first 3 sequences? Our game is heavily story written, with twists and turns that we think will surprise players. We hope the choices and conversational threads that you can't see in one sitting will give your audience a reason to try the game for themselves. We're a bit worried that their experience may be spoiled by seeing later sequences in your stream or video. We're not going to make demands like other developers. If you do decide to stream past the point, that's fine too. It'd be cool if you included a spoilers warning for your audience. Thanks for taking the time to read this, and thanks for sharing our game with your community, Mike. I don't know if this would have changed. Like, I'm gonna upload this. Obviously, I've already done so, if you see this. But I might add this to the beginning. I think I'm gonna split up the episodes. I've already done so. Again, if you see this video, like, I've already split them up. But I was gonna record something else today, but I do have a lot of things to do today, so I need 2 episodes today. So this is gonna be my 2 episodes of a game today. But yeah, I've then added this to last episode, because that's when part 4 happened. And then you can decide for yourself if you watch the entire thing. I think when did this game come out again? Let me just check. It was in 2017. So, you know, I think like at this point, if you haven't played, I mean, I'm this kind of person who haven't played a lot of games. So you could be like me who haven't played a lot of games. But I think this is definitely a game everybody should play at some point because it was really interesting and I really loved it. I do think the twist at the end was kind of shocking to a certain degree. Like, how can you get shocked by anything these days, really? When you read or watch series, movies, or anything, like everything's at some point the shock isn't like amazingly huge that you're getting like, oh my god, never saw that coming. But I did really like the twists in this story and where it ended up, from the missing text to being numerical errors to being purposeful because they were hiding the production rates and stuff, and then leading into a revolution where you can choose between 2 outcomes. I really like the story of that. It's a short game and it managed to do a lot of packing of information, and I really loved talking to all of these different texts too. You had so many different ones like nannies and priests, and I'm sure you could really dive into the morals of each of their roles and if they were needed and what the consequences of having a robot with that kind of job and if it's good for humans or not. There's a lot you can talk about around that, but I'm not gonna really go into that now. I've said what I needed to say, and I didn't really say a lot because it was a lot of reading, and it will probably be a lot faster to play this off recording because then you could just read it very fast and make your decisions. But I really like being able to play these games for my channel because it really allows me to play games I would never have picked up on my own, and then I can share my reaction to them with you guys, which I would think is somewhat interesting because I like this myself. I like watching people's reactions to games myself, so I would think there's a few of you out there who also like it. So I am really glad I'm able to play games like this. I love when games make you think, when games have interesting dialogues and a very interesting type of gameplay where we're just on this track and talking to the text that came and went, and just the way you had to hack some and do some puzzles. And yeah, I just really enjoyed all of this. This was a really good game and I loved it. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and I will catch you on the next one.